hearing on the planning commission, August 26th, now August 3rd. Because regional planning has still not posted the agenda or the materials for the August 26th meeting, we have no way of knowing how staff have responded to our concerns. Fortunately, the EIR is posted on the DCPA website, so we can at least see how the consultant responded to our concerns on EIR and the impact implications. Perhaps we can comment on that now, which should give the commission 20 days at least to review. However, regional planning's refusal to post case materials until just 2 weeks before the hearing means that we will have less than a week to get comments together, because the commissioners have told us they want the comments in, because we always submit long comments. They want them in at least a week ahead of time. Well, we can't even write a letter till we have the staff's report posted on the website, right? Because that tells us what the staff say, well, we think town council is stupid because of whatever reasons. I think I'll say that. Why they reject our ideas or accept them, whatever. We can't even start to write the letter until we see what the county's saying. But they don't post it until 2 weeks ahead of time. So several times over the last year, and some of you have heard these things, at the planning commission, the active town council and the public have been criticized by the planning commission for not getting comments in a week early, okay? It's impossible to do that when they don't post the materials till 2 weeks ahead of time. So it's impossible to meet their deadline. So I've written here that it's an intentional paradigm that's deliberately established to stifle meaningful public participation. The exact same thing is going to happen with this kind of ordinance. We won't see it or staff's response to our comments until just a full meeting. So one of the things we could do, and I don't know if it involves a motion, is to send to the planning commission right now, so that 23 days, or say 20 days, send it in 2 days. Basically, the letters that we've already submitted, informed by the final EIR, which I saw just today, is posted on DCPA. They have a response to public comments. So we can look at that and see how they responded to our concerns about public safety and the air quality. And then maybe temper those comments and submit new comments to the planning commission, so they'll have at least 20 days to review it, and they can't chastise us again for waiting until 3 days before they know it. Okay. We've heard it, Don's heard it, it's shocking, the planning commission saying things like that. You gotta get these things in earlier.
Yeah. Now, the due date is what time and when?
Yes, it's actually, the due date is the hearing.
Yeah. I get it, so.
It's like, how are we supposed to come? We're maybe like 2 weeks, we don't even get everything. We have to be informed.
Exactly.
But everybody's super on this.
Yeah, but we're the only ones that suffer because our community, and our community suffers because the ordinance is bad, right? So I don't know that they make a motion, because we've already written that letter, but so shall we maybe do that? So I'll look at what they said.
But please, can you write a letter mentioning that you don't have time?
Yes.
To call it.
Yeah. At the last public planning commission meeting, I waited till the public comment period at the end, and I said, this is ridiculous. You just chastise the public for not getting things early. You don't post the material until 2 weeks ahead of time. You make it impossible for the public to be. So we've sent it to them verbally, but we will, in fact, we'll probably put a preface on this letter saying, to make sure you understand this, even though we still haven't fixed staff report, so they might.
Yeah. It's like we're like preempts do guess.
Yeah.
Let's say like no matter what's in it, we still feel this way. I mean, that's essentially what it's like.
Which is like
Right.
yeah, it's a bad position.
Well, that's the reason to I mean, it's not that you're gonna, but we see it die because it's like, why does it begin with other couple weeks?
Right. Well, why can't they just post it?
No, it's
on
not.
time?
Even if it was on time, you just move everything another couple weeks to ensure that the that's just crazy.
You know what else is crazy? To your point is because I went down the hearing on the gas station, right? And you guys, a couple of you were using there, I think, some of the buses there. And you know, we had submitted comments and members of the public had submitted comments like a couple of days earlier. And pointed these things out, and it was so bad that the planning commission actually asked, are we able to approve this project? So at least they got, the letters came in the day before. Because they didn't get a chance to read the detail. And instead of saying, okay, let's continue this for 30 days so that we can consider it, they turned to county council, and county council said, well, I don't know. So they asked her, can we approve this today? And her response was, I don't know. But staff has prepared this report, and they believe it's ready to go forward and have you make a decision on it. So then they voted on it.
Which is also interesting because staff had prepared this report without any of this other information that's being brought to light. So they haven't even considered all this stuff. So we're basing this on
Right.
just conjecture.
So, and then they said, one of the commissioners said, well, look, we don't want to make our boss irritated. And I'm saying it's, she's not, he was talking
I'm
about.
sitting right here, yeah.
He was talking about Director Bowen.
Yeah, I know,
And I'm saying,
I'm saying,
the planning commission, she's not their boss. They're supposed to be completely
Yes.
independent. They have no idea how it's like.
it's good.
Well, they're also self-absorbed where they have full staff, a law department.
Yeah.
And they're all paid and that's their job, 8 to 5,
Yeah.
sometimes a little bit longer. We're volunteers, we have our life, we have jobs, we have everything else. So we don't have the time and the staff to have them write it up and they take advantage of that.
I gotta hook you with a lot of staff. That's
Yeah.
what I forgot.
Even if we had all the staff would still take a week or two. to
Yeah,
write
it's not-
kind of
The research
cogent,
alone.
detailed letters that these things.
Or digest what's been
Especially
submitted.
on things like cannabis.
Well, that's what I mean, it's like to give thoughtful ingestion to what's been
Right.
submitted and say, consider this. Is there anything in there, do we need to look at it?
Yes.
Instead of going like, oh, they don't like it, okay, well.
Right, I think the reason cannabis is kind of important is we have more industrially zoned property in our little community than exists in all of District 3 unincorporated. And one other district, I can't remember which one. So, I mean, and most of the property is in District, Holly Mitchell's district, whichever one that is, and Supervisor Barber's, right? And so they're saying, well, that's where it's all going to be concentrated. Well, we're gonna make sure only certain numbers go in each place. But all of that is in the Title 8 language.
Yes.
So what happens when Supervisor Barker's district and Supervisor Mitchell's district gets totally saturated? They get their 10 permits and then none of the other districts have any. Well, they just say, okay, well, we're gonna do now, we'll let 20 in each one. So they'll just keep growing within those. So that's why one of the reasons Title 8 is so important to see how they're going to, because they committed and promised us here in this library, BCBA and OPS, there will not be over concentration of cannabis operations in any one place. So, you know,
But the minute the attorney said, I don't know, it should have been stopped right there.
let's
In my
continue this for
humble opinion.
30 days.
But it's ridiculous. Their legal staff is telling them, I don't know.
But
Which means I need to
for
go.
now, so you can staff say you could prove it. I mean, I'm the transcript. Get a transcript.
That's interesting.
So, I don't, I guess we'll just go, okay, so we'll write a letter, so it's like,
And I don't need to just read that.
it tempers by what they've said in the final.
All right. Well, fine, general plan tune-up, US.
Okay, and guess what? We got an email this afternoon, that's been taken off calendar.
Even more time.
Yes, yes, yes.
So number 10 has been taken off now?
Yeah, that's the tune-up, it's been taken up. Yeah, it was October, it was October.
Like 27.
Was there a reason why?
Okay, here, Jackie.
No, I don't think so. I don't.
Mayor of the Acton Town Council tonight. Junkyard dogs, that's, yeah.
We spoke, and I had a conversation with Mr. Nieto today, email back and forth, or missing, no, Julie Young said it's taken on campus. So late in 2025, regional planning issued its proposed revisions to county general plan. And in response, we provided extensive verbal comments to the workshop center and written comments by the January 22nd deadline. Our concerns included the fact that the changes eliminate the community noise surveys that were supposed to have been finished 5 years ago. And if you remember, that was really important to this community because of the whistle that we have. In 2005, Federal Railway Administration laws changed, so now we have a massive loud horn noises in the community that never used to be here back when the trail started. So we have been looking forward. The general plan currently says they're supposed to have started a wide noise survey to find these areas that are severely impacted by noise. And that was supposed to have started in 2018 and finished in 2 years. And in particular, we have data from the ABL project showing that there at the Kilcoyne Ranch, 2 in the morning, it's 103 decibels right there in their front yard. It's bad. And so we've been waiting for the noise survey patiently so that we could get support for our quiet zone request, right? So in the draft that came out, they took that away. They said, we don't need to do the noise survey. Well, what they are aware of is that under state planning and zoning law for the noise element, they're required to show noise contours along all transportation corridors. If you look at their general plan, they did it for the cities too, but they didn't do it for any rural areas, including Acton. So so their general plan doesn't comply with state law.
But then the other two that they're not placed.
Could be CNEL or something. So, and so we let that go because they said they're gonna do a noise survey, so we figured we'll get it anyway. This was when they did the general plan 10 years ago, right? And now they're removing it, okay? So the other thing is that the revisions eliminated the requirement to prepare a Parks and Recreation master plan, which we've been waiting for obvious reasons. And also to make the vehicle miles traveled or VMT be the sole measure of traffic impacts without regard for traffic signal warrants. That might be reasonable in cities, but in rural communities, you still have to consider traffic signal impacts, traffic signalization, because traditionally under CEQA or since 1971, when CEQA started, traffic signalization has been considered to be a mitigation measure for traffic. So we're saying it's fine under state law, you have to use BMT instead of level of service is the way we look at it, but you've got to include traffic signalization, particularly to rural areas. Anyway, so those are the comments we submitted, and we don't know, whatever. So in April, we participated in a meeting with regional planning staff to discuss these concerns, and we were told not to worry because the changes pertaining to the Parks Master Plan and the community noise surveys were addressed, and these actions were put back in the draft general plan. So we were told that in April. I don't remember if it was at the meeting, it's not a remote meeting, but so it's fine. So we didn't even participate in the planning commission. It's like, okay, great. So then I looked at it last week, and everything they said was lied. So it removes, just as I said, it removes the noise survey and it takes away the Parks Master Plan and replaces it with the P&A, the Park Needs Assessment. It was done in 2016 and the P&A Plus, much part of that. So the problem with that is that most of the money that has gone into parks and open space over the last 10 years are not even consistent with P&A and Plus. The monies are all going to wealthy communities, or a lot of it. Not to use that part means, or they're going to really well-funded nonprofits like MRCA to about such areas to buy a land and then keep it close up. So that's why we need a master plan. It's all a terrible joke. Anyway, the general plan is supposed to go to the board on the 27th. So it's now past the commission. So we have to go to the board. So we're going to have to go to Supervisor Barber to get these concerns fixed. So I do have a motion here, but I move that we ask for a meeting with the Barber and or staff to work on the problems with the proposed uses of general.
So, all right. Johnson. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's carried. Oh, this will be nice. Take off calendar, but SCA reports.
Yeah, since our special meeting on June 11th, in which regional planning staff gave a presentation on proposed revisions, and in which I made certain claims such as the SCA in combination with the SCA guidelines document, forces property owners, if they want to develop their land, to give up at least half of it. They disputed that, they said that's not true, literally argued with me. Okay, so since that time, this,
Have your attention, please.
I spent several hours going through the ordinance and the guidelines, and I've got a very detailed review, and I have to say that I was wrong. It is not for $75. It's 75. But the reason for this is that, if your lots are 5 acres or smaller, it's size 9%. It's better. If you're 10 acres, it might be 70%. So the reason they do this is they include, so we all in very high fire hazard areas, we know you have a 200-foot fuel modification area, right? High and very high. And then zone A, B, and C, right? So the county counts, regional planning or SCA ordinance currently and in the proposed revisions, counts that fuel mod area as part of the disturbed area that you have to offset. So, I don't know if that makes sense, but so if you disturb, say, 20,000 square feet and you have a barn and a house, you go out 200 feet from that, okay? And so that's counted for the whole disturbed area that you have to, especially if you go through the CUP process, even if it's the most effective disturbed land, like farmland already disturbed, you still have to set aside, make a one-to-one set aside. So you have to set aside that amount, right? And then they didn't mention this at the thing either. Your fuel mod area outside your building site area, you are not allowed to touch at all, other than for fuel mod. So that is part of the taking too. They don't make you give that to a land conservancy, they make you give the other land conservancy, but not your fuel mod. And so, and the reason this is so is because of the way for the SCA, only the SCA ordinance, the way they define the term development. It's defined very broadly, and it includes fenced areas and any alteration to existing vegetation resulting from fuel mod efforts and, quote, active recreational activities, which of course means riding, hiking. So you can't even ride your horse in your fuel mod area or hike in your fuel mod area, because that could disturb vegetation, and then that is considered development of a trail. So that's how they give you the building site area that you want to do, but then they make you set aside some area outside your fuel mod, but then they don't let you touch your fuel mod. And that's how it gets up to these high numbers, where technically you don't have to give away all the land, you just have to give away the part of it outside your fuel mod, but you're not allowed to touch it otherwise. So that's how it's, so
This was interesting. Reason I think it's just, they don't make lots of fuel on it. Like, hey, you get to do it, you can't touch it, because we don't have it.
Plus you pay taxes on it.
And I checked the definition of development again, so I was writing these notes this afternoon. Development includes active recreational activities, which means
You can't ride your own horse on your own property.
not the fuel mod area. The only area you can disturb, the only area you're allowed to disturb is what they consider to be the building site area, which is defined as.
So you ride around your house.
Exactly. Really close to my house.
Your fuel mod area is to traverse to another area. You're out of line.
Well, that
Not
might,
landlocked within your own.
that might be, they might consider that part of your building site area, so it would be a place for it. So the way they define building site area is the area that you use. It's so good that we use. But, and you won't be affected unless you want to do something on your property. So, yeah, if, say you want to put in an ADU for, and on Thursday, so I'm giving the presentation on Thursday. I've been asked to update ATC, and not on behalf of the Acton Town Council, just as a citizen and a resident, right? So I stepped through various scenarios, 2.5 acre, 5 acre, 10 acre, how this all works out, showing the Fremont area and then the area. So, and and we asked for follow-up discussion with Ms. Chi and Ms. Wen. Ms. Wong, sorry. And we were set up to have it on Thursday afternoon, and then Thursday morning they canceled it, so.
You just said to somebody over here for a fencing, they need a path for people who don't know it. Why do they need a path if they can't use them?
So they recognize if on your building, say you want to do some of your properties, submit a site plan, and you want to put a perimeter fence around it, that you have to put that on your site plan. That's part of your disturbance. And that perimeter fence has to be what's called wildlife permeable. It looks like a lot of the fences that you showed, and let's get through and over and under. You only place you're allowed to put non-permissive fencing, which is fencing to stop solid mountain lions out there, is around your building site area. You can't have it in your Fremont area, or it has to be in the building site area. And these terms are all defined, and I can't spend an hour talking about it right now, but so if you want to do fencing that's outside, in the outer, your perimeter, it has to be wildlife permeable, and that will be counted as part of your building site area too. So you have to offset that too. And you're only allowed to have high fencing, active fencing on your building site area. That's how I read it. And these are some things I want to talk with you about, to explain all this stuff to them on Thursday, saying, where am I wrong, right? They canceled it, so. Yeah, that's true.
Little Rock on Thursday.
Yes.
It's called Alpine Green.
Yes, and there's the flyers on our website, and there's an address.
Return to sister.
It's or you can zoom in. Again, you can't click on the link on the thing, but we can email it to you. So just send us an email really early, as early as possible if you want the link, because we don't watch the email all the time. So you know right now you're gonna want it, let us know like that, so don't wait till last, because you might not get back to you.
Anything else, Smith?
Nope, I don't have any motion or anything, it's just an update.
All right. Continue to do efforts on traffic safety on this here.
They can't talk back, so.
Of the traffic.
No, about what regional, what, public works is done on, that's with the food truck problems and everything. If not, I mean,
Are they, she's not on here.
is Josie on?
Josie's on. Is she on?
Yeah, I think
Yes. Oh, again, she wasn't on the. Hey, Josie.
Hi, I'm here.
Josie. I asked Jeremiah to put this on the agenda because I think it's important for the acting town council to really let Public Works know, and Director Estrella and Supervisor Barker, how much we appreciate the efforts, your efforts and his efforts and all of his colleagues. And Ruthie's been much more in the trenches on it than I have, so maybe she could speak a little bit more on some of the things they've done. We were having, traffic issues, safety issues. A lot of it was caused by the truck that was insisting on parking in the same spot on the north side of Sierra Highway. Very close to a driveway, so he's blocking people trying to get out of the driveway, being able to see around his vehicle. Semis were double parking next to his truck. I'm sure his food is great, but he picked that spot and he was there 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for a year. And we asked him nicely to move, and he didn't receive that well. So we started working with Public Works, Stephen Dykstra in particular, and I told Stephen, he said, well, we don't deal with food trucks. I go, we do now. I said, Stephen, owe me a favor. So he's been working with us. He's been great, fabulous. And he came up with the idea of
putting more red curbing in on the north side of Sierra and 1 hour parking limits, which would discourage a vendor from sitting in there, because they literally have to move. Deputy Martinez would enforce like a 1 block, that they have to move a block if they were cited. So that discouraged the food truck from being in that spot, and the red curbing kept people approaching on the driveways. So that kind of remedied the problem on the north side. So then he switched to the south side, so he created the problem on the south side. And same thing, trucks were parking in the center divider of Sierra Highway. It was causing mayhem, and so then Stephen added red curbing on the south side. He added 2 hour parking limits, because we're trying not to affect our community or people that want to come and patronize our local businesses like Jack in the Box, Pizza Place. We want to give them a place to park. So we wanted to leave, long open spaces on the south side, but now they have a 2 hour limit because of a vendor that wouldn't take the hint. Now the food vendor oscillates back and forth between Animal Woods Road, in front of the middle school, where he's competing with another pop-up food vendor, right? And then I think they got into a squabble, and now he's parked on the property that's slated for the gas station.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
I
didn't
can't
know.
write this, right? So that's private property, and only the owner of that property can ask him to.
He moved there about a week ago, and I've seen him every day. He was there tonight when I
Yeah,
came.
exactly.
And
Picture really hard to see as they're going on.
yes,
When those trucks parked there in the suicide lane.
It is,
He got confronted, as I understand it, by someone in the community because trucks, semis were pulling up alongside him and actually blocking 1 lane of Sierra Highway.
Oh, he blocks 1 lane.
Yes, he
Because
does.
he has his truck,
and
then he
generates-
throws a generator out in the street and puts cones around it. So you cannot drive in that lane.
And it all boils down to where we're having to redo everything at that intersection
Yeah.
because there's no regulation on food trucks with LA County, within
Food trucks are permitted.
unincorporated.
The food truck, that guy's licensed. He goes through his couple of ones, it's the,
Truck,
yes.
check. I love it, you know I love it. But in the incorporated areas, they can regulate the food trucks. They can say you can't be within 600 feet of a brick and mortar.
No, that's against, they might do it, but it's against state law. They might
That's
say,
not what I read.
no,
what I
the state
read
law
on state law.
specifically says they can't do that. Now, they might be doing it because they, the city of La Mirada, thinks
Well,
nobody's
I
gonna
read it
do
on
it.
the state website, that incorporated areas can set their own regulations as to where these trucks can park and for how long.
But not in relationship to who they're competing against.
No, but I mean, where they can park, and if they say you can't park in front of existing restaurants within 600 feet, then it doesn't matter
It says
whether
they're-
it's a Burger King.
yeah, so it says they're not supposed to take that into consideration.
But I mean, look at Palmdale. Palmdale doesn't allow food trucks.
Oh, they're all over the place.
Well, no,
Not
You
in
want to try them on 47th East?
I think that's good too.
What about out by, Little Rock, going for Little Rock? Because there was a real bad spot.
they're not.
And they're all gone out of there. Just past
So
47.
across 4 Points, I mean,
Yes.
across from the
Yeah.
4 Point swap meet?
Yeah.
Oh, they must have cleared up, they were there, and last time I drove down 47th in awe, there were 3 or 4 of them over there.
Maybe they all moved, but they were over by 4 Point swap meet and
Across the.
the traffic was insane.
Yes.
They were split in front of you.
So here's the deal. There's no regulation locally, and the state has their rules, but then they kind of went, okay, and then
Yeah,
local
so it said,
governments can
okay.
regulate it, and then local governments don't, because they can only incorporate areas regulate it themselves, and we're not incorporated, so we're kind of left with our butts swinging in the wind. And we had no recourse against a vendor that was parked on public street. It is public street, I understand. He was there every day in, day out. He sets up benches, he sets up an awning. he ties his awning for the wind, you know, he ties that to somebody else's fence. The perimeter fence that the owner of the John Chaco's property, that lot out front, he put up a fence to keep people from encroaching on his property there. It's just,
Even in your park vehicle overnight to
Yes.
ensure that he got.
yes,
that-
he does park, you got parks in a truck or a van to mark your spot so that when he comes back, but it's, you know, Debbie like this is really been helpful and it's enforced the 2 hour parking and the 1 hour parking. But it's just, we feel like that we have issues back to generations. We have no support at the county level, and I'm not blaming
Well,
you.
but then why didn't we put red curbs all over the place? And why
That's,
did we put
that is our support. There, and that's not directly for kids.
No, but as near as I know, we can't buy them from parking in little places. Now, if you guys want to try the next go round of oversized vehicle parking restrictions, that's possible. So,
But see, we don't wanna stop a semi from coming through, he gets gas at the 76 station, and he wants to go grab something from Jack in the Box. He has no place to park.
I think well, you can't park there overnight. I think under the oversized, there's a time limit. I think it's
Well,
like
that's what I'm saying, that's why we don't want red curbs everywhere, because we do want the guy with the semi truck, and Heather from Firewise was here, and she had said, trucks often will pull off, get gas here, and then they check their loads, so they retie them down and make sure that they're good. But she said that can take an hour or two, you know, then they get something to eat. So, you know, so she said, we're not trying to take all the curb space away.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time trying to, because there are truckers listed here, it's satisfied them. But I wanted to, what I wanted to do was talk about writing a letter of gratefulness, or gratitude, sorry, that, to Supervisor Barber for, Mr. Dykstra and his colleagues' efforts and Ms. Gutierrez.
That's certainly deserves it because
Yes.
he goes out of his way to try to understand the Hill's Valley rural communities.
He's been,
And Joe too, but
he's been awesome. And I wrote a letter and I copied to Supervisor Barber and Mark Estrella.
Okay.
And I wanted to make sure they understood that we were very grateful for the effort he put into this. And I just wish that we had some teeth at the county level for that particular, because we're doing all this other stuff. Public Works is jumping through hoops for us.
Amazing.
And that's what we need for, because, my boss,
Food truck.
has plans to try to convince, but not against food trucks, but against the camping guys, which are totally illegal. The
Yeah,
chief
that's, we
deputy's
need
trying
to do that.
Yes, so that's.
Should we write a separate letter in support of that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let's put that.
You're talking about the weekend people,
The county
the
guys,
people that,
the county guys.
oh,
The camping people, they're totally illegal. They can't be
I thought you said
counties.
counties. I thought you said counties.
No, the campus.
I was like, the weekend motorhomes?
Now, Steve Dykstra said,
Yeah, this was meant, I meant, you know, the county takes a red and the council a lot of times, some of the stuff like we've been talking about. But Public Works and Mr. Dykstra and his colleagues and Ms. Gutierrez have just been amazing. I mean, we're going to get stop lot sign at Red Rover, which is unbelievable.
Wow.
Right?
I mean, I'm not,
I don't know, I just know it's.
I was just hoping, I mean, because school starting, school is why
I
I'm
know,
not.
it would be wonderful, but it's gonna happen.
Mhm.
We understand. So I had written out, typed out a motion,
Can I ask Josie too? I know there was, and I cannot remember her name, I wrote it down, I can't remember it. She had called me and they're looking at putting trees on Antelope Woods Road.
yes.
Yeah.
So, and they had a team that was going out to look, is planting trees along that fence line up to the junior high school. Which
Correct.
is passage for our kids to get to the crosswalk out of the junior high school. But I know they were gonna go look in July to see if they could do that.
Yeah, they did confirm that they can plant trees. So right now we ordered some trees and just waiting for them to be delivered. And once we get them, then we'll start planting them.
Oh.
So that is in the works.
And who was, I know it's you, but who
What's the name of that person? So we should put that in.
The person that I believe spoke with Tammy is Arit Chandra, ARITChandra.
Okay, A-R-I-T and then T-H-A-N-D-R.
Oh, sorry, C. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Arita Chandra.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's amazing and thank her so much and obviously you too. That's gonna make a huge difference, not only for our kids getting safely out of school and it gets them to the crosswalk where we have paid crossing guards and the two intersections there to get them across Crown Valley or get them across, Sierra Highway, that's right, across Sierra Highway too.
So it's A-R-I-T space C-H-A-N-D-R-A.
Correct.
So that's awesome. So they're gonna order the trees and then get them planted along that. I know it's not gonna be the fence line, it's gonna be down away from the fence line, which is perfect.
Yeah, they'll be along the shoulder. So I'll have that once we get the what do you call it, the trees. I'll have them reach out to you again, Tammy, to make sure we're on the same page as far as locations.
Thank you so much. That would be great. Thank you.
Yes.
So I move that we write a letter of appreciation to the Department of Public Works and send it to Supervisor Barker and Director Estrella, and in particular identify Stephen Dykstra, his colleagues, Arit Chandra and Josie Gutierrez for their diligence, professionalism, and constant assistance in addressing the traffic and safety problems in Acton.
Second. John second. Is there a second?
Thank you so much, Josie.
Aye.
Yes, thanks, Josie.
I mean, we're lucky that we have great people.
Yes.
In the local offices, we have Chuck and we have Josie and.
I think a lot of this has, I think Supervisor Barker. I'm grateful.
All right. Acting on Wilson School District annual welcome back breakfast invitation.
Yes, so we received an invitation August 11th. I'm not able to attend.
And it's early, isn't it? Like 7:30 or something?
It's usually, I didn't look at the time, but it's usually pretty early. We usually send somebody and I wanted to.
School starts on the 12th, right?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
8 o'clock. Is it 12?
Well, school starts on the 12th.
The birthday
The breakfast is the 11th.
11 to
8 a.m. Okay, that's right. We have somebody on.
What's that, 8?
7:30. Oh, John will go. Okay, is that all right? Is anybody else on that? Okay.
I might go since there's other,
So, Yolanda was asked us to RSVP by today. I emailed her saying, hey, we're gonna talk about it tonight, so I'll let you know tomorrow. So should I tell her 2 or 1?
2.
2. Okay.
Down in Tampa, right?
And it's at the, what school?
Usually the high school, is it? Is that where it is this time?
That's yes.
That's good. Okay. So Dawn. Yeah.
See, they do need you.
Where we got it.
That was it for that.
All right. So for some reason on the print here, it's cut off.
I'm on 10. But I can find it probably.
You're on there.
And the website.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Well, SWORD and Action Takes Action have been very busy refunding our meetings, our donation. Because the court case was settled, closed, paid off, took a while. But it was probably $2 million. We've been contacting people in groups and refunding the donation money that people gave toward the lawsuit. And that feels really good because this promise is made, the promise is kept. A lot of people have been extremely generous and have let's just keep the money, but we don't want to do that. So they suggested that they redirect their donation refund to another local group. And we mentioned town council, we mentioned Let's don't be people.
And they became their trash.
Yeah, it's trash.
And then perhaps the women's club, which, I mean, women's club has a storefront and they do really well, but anyway, people have been repurposing their donations. It's been great. Way more people than I thought, and we're not even halfway through the list yet. So, we're getting some great donations for you guys and for the donor. So, we're proud of the community. Proud that they're still in the training on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of current song, the developer requested a 2-day extension for the EIR's assessment. She's both about 30th. And, it's now August 28th. They said they needed to add some technical data to the docket. What I think, this is my personal opinion, is did a technical analysis of hydrogen fluoride concentrations that are produced by a burning vest and showed that the levels of hydrogen fluoride concentration were above safe limits at 1,000 feet from a burning battery container. Well, there were homes in that 1,000-foot zone from the project that had not yet been approached for a purchase option buyout because the developers been busy trying to eliminate all the sensitive receptors. So all the people that would be endangered by their project, if they eliminate them through having a purchase option that people have agreed to. And people are kind of against, the wall. They're over a barrel because they're thinking, well, I don't want to live next to this project. I don't want my family to be subjected to anything dangerous if there's a fire. And who's going to want to buy my house once that project is built? So people are legitimately in a kind of a decision crisis that they think, well, if I say yes, I'm kind of throwing my community under the bus, but if I say no, I can sell the value in my home, that they're offering a lot of money. And they're being offered a lot of money above fair market value. In some cases, it's life-changing money for people. So we can't blame people for agreeing, but this is what we believe the developer is doing with these 60 days is he's trying to systematically eliminate the rest of the sensitive receptors so we can say, look, there's no homes that are going to be affected by this project because we now own all of them. And people are going to buy them all up. So it's, they're like a bulldozer and they go in, but, we're like a brick wall. So we're just hanging in there. We're a mountain. I don't think they realized who Acton was. What people of Acton are like. Chuckington. Listen, we're really nice people, but don't mess with us, right? Right? Yourself. Don't mess with us because we will dig our heels in and we're not afraid of a fight, right? Right? And the fact that I have like 300 people on an email list that have been in the trenches on this best business since 2023. So 3 years now. And people are still in it to win it. They're interested, they're concerned, they're willing to write letters. All beautiful. So I'm very proud of our community here. And we're making headway. So here's some of the headway we've made. The renewable energy ordinance update just recently was released. We've been waiting for this for probably 18 months, 20 months. The team that was developing this ordinance have been fabulous. Another compliment of county. Mark Herwick, Lorraine Kuna, and Katie Lample, who's no longer with county, but she was fabulous too. They graciously accepted everything that I submitted or Jackie submitted to them. We submitted white paper, studies, reports, articles, you name it, we submitted it. And they always were open to accepting it, reading it, learning more. And I felt that they have shown great concern for our community. They met with us in person. So the new REO update ordinance is going to be, the drafts is prohibiting a utility scale vest in very high fire hazards area zones. Okay, Mark. And also prohibiting in the SEA. A utility scale vest can be allowed on M1 with a CUP if it's under 125 megawatts, which is way small compared to the things that they're building here. And it has to be given written proof by a qualified third party that there's no risk for thermal runaway with whatever technology you're using.
That's huge.
So that eliminates all current lithium-ion battery chemistries and any future batteries that could be non-lithium, but could get the thermal runaway. There's always new technology being developed. So that was a biggie. So let's just say LA County has protected us, and I'm very grateful that I feel like our community is protected because our whole town is basically very high fire hazard area zone. We're also buried in SEA right now. And they're talking about putting the best out in what's called an economic opportunity area, which is between Palmdale and Little Park. It's kind of out in the alley, and it's a big open space. And they think they can put the best there and meet their goals. So we think that's awesome. Now, the Prairie Song is going through the CEC, the state process. So the state can override the county, but it doesn't like to conflict with local ordinance and regulations. So now that this draft has been released, this is great because we can say, look, this is what LA County is planning to do. Don't you want to like comply with that? And the CEC, we think the CEC's pretty savvy about the fact that a vest like that, that's huge, does not belong in a very high fire hazard area zone. Especially with the fires that LA has suffered in the last 2 years. So, utility scale solar will be allowed on A2 or M1, which is light industrial, but it needs CUP, and then it has development standards that lighting has to be on a light motion sensor after 10 p.m. so it gets turned off. They have landscape spreaders, small animal permeable fencing.
How much was the fencing?
Like
How high was the fencing?
8 feet. Yeah, 8 feet. And they can't use that reflective type of stuff, the mirroring type lenses to increase the production of solar. They're not allowed that.
But the ones that like Vegas from.
Yeah.
The ISR on
Your
it.
power tower. And transmission lines within the very high fire hazards area zone for any reason can be underground.
That's amazing. That's good.
So anyway, I can't cover it all, but I know Jackie hasn't had a chance to read it all, but I've written the highlights down here, and it's 97 pages, and I'm just very pleased with it. I'm grateful, and I think they've done a great job because vests are necessary, but they're also dangerous with the technologies they're using right now. So until the industry can come up with a safe way to have energy storage, those things need to be remote. They need to be away from people. And a developer, as far as I'm concerned, a developer can't have it both ways. You can't have a site that's close to the substation so that you have a short transmission line to make your costs less. Can't have that and use the battery of your choice, which happens to be dangerous, fire risky, and toxic. You have to give somewhere. So if they're going to be able to use that dangerous technology, they should have to be out like the Edward Sanborn zone, Mojave, or just anywhere, get it out away from people. Because then if there's an event, if there's a fire, it's not going to result in an evacuation or a shelter place because there's no people. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a regional planning came up with the draft. It's called the Renewable Energy Ordinance.
And public comment is due on it by September 17th.
It says it's dated,
So,
yeah, it's comment period. No comment period.
I don't, I'm not even doing.
And then if they could adjust something, I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be. Well, from the. But, you know, hopefully they stand their ground because they build a lot of safety into this relationships for their case. So anyway, that's, it's just for me, I'm really pleased, it's all good news. And that's all it is.
I think we're fine. So the comment period is just for, before they start the EIR, so they're.
No, they've already got the EIR.
No, this is to start the EIR, this is the scoping meeting, that's scoping.
Yeah, they're going to supposed to be.
Yes, so this is the start of the EIR.
Oh,
We're gonna do the EIR. Oh, yes, it's not gonna be till next year with this thing.
okay, so what is the scoping mean? I see,
Yes, it's in August, it's on
Oh,
that,
geez.
it's on the email I sent you, it's just been sent.
Okay, okay.
Imminent, Jeff, for the.
No, I just.
I know, okay, so, I think it's awesome, like,
Well, no, but the comments are due September 7th. That I saw. Right.
Yes.
So I move that we change this, participate in the scoping meeting. August, what date? August. Scoping, but will it be remote? Will it be hybrid?
I think it's all remote, yes,
Oh, it's all remote.
I think so.
I hope they give us more than just like an hour and a half. I mean, scoping meetings usually are 8 hours long, capture.
Oh, no. I don't know.
Okay.
like 7 to 8:30.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
7 p.m.
And the draft ordinance is on the website, on the regional planning website. They've also got some backup materials, some maps and so forth, and the form isn't, I can't make heads and tails out of maps, to tell you the truth.
Great.
So saying you can't make it.
No, because I want to go, well, I want a map that shows where's the proposed SEA areas, what's A2 only, what's very high fire hazard area, so I know
And they-
this is the area that's left over.
They can do that
Yes,
easily.
and I've asked when I haven't come up.
So we would ask for that in the scoping meeting. So let me.
What's time, Dave? Public comment period starts on the MLP, starts, fields and preparation starts August 3rd, which is today, and it ends September 17th. And the scoping meeting is.
Meeting will include brief presentation of Dr. Vigors, yes.
7:30.
7:30, 8:30 p.m., Wednesday, August 19th, held on. Participants join online or by.
Okay, so I move that we participate in the August 19th scoping meeting from 7 to 8:30 and submit comments by the September 17th deadline.
Second, any discussion?
Is that seconded by Don?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Sorry,
He did well tonight.
that was on Patrick. All right, all in favor?
I
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Do we have a link?
Yeah, it's in the structure today, yes, we should have to do.
I have a couple things on this, all right, so the Corby Vest, so the California Energy Commission released the Corby Vest staff recommendation and draft EIR a few weeks ago, and I just am encouraging us to look at it, everybody should look at it, because it will give us a good idea of what the commission is going to, well, basically what we'll be up against in a few weeks when the commission issues our staff assessment. I did take a quick look at it, and it appeared to me that they did do a toxics assessment, they did their own toxics assessment, and their estimate for, the emission source for HF was like 17.4 grams per second, which is much higher than what the developers put in for us, so it's reasonable. However, the lead time is such where they would find it significant, and the proper homes are much further away. However, one thing that I found a little bit disturbing on it was that the threshold, the toxic threshold they're using is AEBL, and they're not allowing any safety factors in, which is, I think we should start putting that sort of thing. So anyway, I just want you to know the Corby Best staff recommendation at EIR is out, and that will tell us a lot of what we're going to be up against. So when it comes to us in about 3 weeks.
It sounds like they're talking about approving, but they don't say specific language like on the proposed site. You don't see those kinds of words.
Yes.
I think they might approve it at the alternative site.
I have to look at it. I don't, it's, I encourage people to look at it because it's gonna tell us what we're gonna do. So. That's it for me.
Our citizens meetings. Oh, actually, you know what? Deputy Martinez is on.
Okay.
Deputy Martinez, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Hey, just wanted to give you a chance to do your report if you'd like.
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought you guys were going dark like Agua Dulce does for August, and then I'm not gonna say Jeremiah, you didn't update the agenda till really last minute, but when I checked earlier, just kidding. So for the, I guess they don't pay you enough, right? For the month of July, we had 0 Part 1 crimes, and we had 2 property crimes, which brings our total to 4 Part 1 crimes and 27 property crimes, which is a 38% reduction from last year as far as crime rate goes. So we're doing good. And then I heard you guys talking about the food trucks and stuff. The vendor you guys are harping about, he did move from the 2-hour parking. Now he's across the street. So, I mean, he's still there, but no one's parking on the 2-hour or the 1-hour area.
It's on private property right now.
Yeah.
Property owner has to tell us,
That's
they don't want him on there.
I think you had a lot to do with them moving, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Much.
Does anyone got anything for me?
No. So, oh no. Sorry.
And thank you for enforcing the
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Just, if you guys see anything, just let me know, and I'll continue to go over there and just check periodically, make sure that everyone's obeying by it.
Can I mention the guy, I don't know what, I always call them the rainbow people, but the guys with the rainbow tents, or canopies, umbrellas, he parks in front of Arco. He parks,
You're right.
Okay, he parks his white truck in the red zone all day.
And then he did one day, I wasn't on, but normally his white Ram is against the fence line on Crown Valley, right next, whatever that empty lot is. That's where he normally parks. Usually he doesn't park in the red zone. So I saw that on Facebook too. And I don't know if he was there all day or what that particular incident was, but on a daily basis, his white Ram is up on the hill. Now, if the trees go in, he wouldn't be able to park up there.
Okay, because I know tonight when I came over to the meeting, he was still selling his stuff, and there was a couple other cars parked in the red zone in front of him, along with his white truck.
Right, and whenever I do see them, I try to shush them along. Whoever's in the red zone, and they do comply, and I do tell them to try to get the people to go park. And he's like, well, they don't want to, and it's not his job to tell them to not park in the red zone, and he wouldn't be getting a citation.
Right.
And he is the textbook Senate bill for the vendors, by the way. Like, he is a street cart. Like, he's not impeding the sidewalk or anything. He's like he would be the hardest person to move out of anybody because he's not in a vehicle or anything like that. That Street Vendor Act, that Senate bill is literally made for him.
Okay. Could a wheelchair because he does park on the sidewalk with his cart and his umbrella and stuff.
Right. But he's not impeding anything. So like he is like the textbook. If you read the legislation, what the street vendor thing is, that's him.
But what I'm saying is if somebody was in a wheelchair, could they get by him?
Oh yeah. The cart's like maybe 2 feet at most wide.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right. Thanks, Deputy Martinez. All right. Minutes.
Okay, I passed out July 6th, told it would be the third next meeting, but as in June,
at the last meeting, so some of you all read that.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't see improvement.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's actually.
So what is number two?
And
You make a motion.
Yeah.
All right.
And that was for June, right?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. We're going to early. Education time.
Just, got a notification from the school start Wednesday, August 12th. So,
and you'll learn more probably at the breakfast.
yes, yeah, I have more details, but it's always asked what happened to the, post, Labor Day.
Yes.
Return to school that we
I
had.
know.
In fact, I can't recall, I guess, all the schools are, the classes are, air conditioned now, unlike in the seventies.
Back in the day, I'll say it.
But yes, that's it.
Planning and coordination.
I'm just gonna do a quick update on Cactus Creek. There was a court hearing today with me and Pam went and I went and, yep, and, so the judge is very much interested, I believe, in making this thing happen finished, but it happened quickly. He directed the attorney, she's great, the county council representative, Dušan Pavlovic was not there, but his, colleague, Castillas was there. And asked, directed it, I think it's for August 6th or 7th, a no-show determination. So he's basically going to look at all the paperwork. He's going to look at all the paperwork and probably rule and issue a writ or issue a judgment or issue whatever the judge issue there. But he's reserving the right if he has questions to bring her back in, and apparently that she's happy with that. So everything should be nailed down within a couple of days on the path that they need to do to go and get the receivership path that process. So that's good. And the judge seems to.
What was his name?
I can't. Oh, Daniel seems to be in, he wants this done quickly. He seems to be very sympathetic to our community.
That was around 4,000 years you've been.
Yes, he's it's amazing. He's like, oh, it's good. It seems like county can't do this quicker. He actually kind of said that today. So, I mean, he wasn't being.
No,
stern and
no,
nasty.
no.
He was very nice last time too. He was very much in favor.
I
This has gone on kind of a too long kind of a thing, like.
Well, we know he lives in Acton. We don't know.
I don't know.
He might live be next door to us.
If he did, it would be long, yes, sir.
Because she does say, she said, like, now it's just basically squatters. Nobody's given permission to come in.
Squatters for years.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah, so, anyway, that's a good update.
Yeah, they finally have a meeting for them now.
Social media. Finance ways and means, Pam.
Well, we're doing great
The best-
financially.
the best.
I don't even have to work very hard at it. I just deposit it. I'm good.
They get
Very good.
best in years.
No, I've been here.
PESS.
Oh.
She's here all night.
The rest of the nation is the money to go to the envelopes that there will be refunds and those people have already pledged their money to. Yeah, I'm just giving you the one from the Sequoia. There's gonna be more. So.
I got two here tonight. I'm blessed.
Yes.
You're best. You're best. I'm gonna keep going with it.
Two less to be best.
Two less to be best.
February.
Yeah, so you're like, don't walk.
All right, community citizens for.
Nothing.
Girls in open space and recreation.
Yeah.
And utilities.
Oh, yes, I moved that we write a letter to George Whitesides. I think in support of AM radio in cars, and if anyone wants to buy, we've already taken that position previously because of what happened during the tick fire and our own personal experiences during PSPS's last 3 weeks.
John seconded it. Any discussion?
I can tell you that, that's all right. Oh, okay, good. So you made a motion to write a letter to George Whitesides in support of keeping AM radio in cars. Support of keeping
George Whiteside's in
Congress.
He's for the next couple of months, he's still our congressman.
Yeah, I just,
And maybe we should talk to Obernolte and talk to the other two people who are running for our area who never come to see us. Oh, that's another thing, John second.
how'd you know?
Because Jude's not here.
Yeah. Oh, man. All in favor? I agree with you. Opposed? There was one other thing, we did get something from our friends at Hudson about more drone stuff, that came in the district today. Yeah, it's okay, just stating that they're gonna be inspecting those things. As we come upon PS season, I was like, that's my least favorite. Baseball seems to be cool.
I kind of ruined Thanksgiving and Christmas for us, don't they?
Yes.
So, hey, maybe we'll get all that we're talking about, we'll have to worry about, just have to, we're about looking at a big boat.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, disaster resiliency. We should take that on that. Anything to report about, I think I heard you talking about.
Oh,
About that.
I'm gonna meet with him this week and we'll figure out if we have anything in those two cargo container, or trailer cargo containers. And then we'll have to determine whether we want to take over.
We should get Gerald Rivera up in the hall.
Yes.
If you just don't. It doesn't sound like there's much that we're gonna be able to salvage, but let's find out.
Please find his Steve Canyon, never throw it down.
I will never.
The Steve Canyon,
Put it on the bill stick.
just the other side.
I forgot to say that, by the way. Just kidding.
No, don't do it, 'cause I still get phone calls.
Well, and on that note.
And on that note, so we just cleaned up last week. We went out and did Sierra Highway from Crown Valley to Santiago. A lot of food vendor trash. A lot of food vendor trash. So aluminum foil that I'm guessing burritos possibly were wrapped in, paper plates, millions of napkins, straw papers, the little cups, plastic cups with the little plastic lid that has holes in them. A lot of them were on the fence line in front of the Forest Service. Now, I'm not blaming the food vendor himself for throwing them out, it's his customers, but it's still him, Also,
He's a lot of trash.
he was not,
I mean, except for about a really large trash.
yeah, I'm not sure, but I kind of also thought maybe the Forest Service would pick it up, but.
Yes.
But anyways,
Do you have pictures?
I do.
Okay, could you send them? Because I'm gonna make a motion that we support Supervisor Barber's food truck, food pop-up things.
And we're also cleaning up this Saturday because we're gonna do in front of all the schools, because the school starts on Wednesday. And so there will be a lot of food vendor trash on Antelope Woods Road. So I will have more pictures.
Why? Because of kids eating
Food vendor, no food vendor trash, because they work on Antelope Woods Road vendors.
Oh, okay.
It's in.
Oh, I didn't get you.
The kids don't go back till the 12th.
Gotcha.
We're gonna go pick up this Saturday and get all the
So
schools.
it's either, okay.
And then we're also gonna do the on and off ramps at Crown Valley, because they're pretty awful, which is a lot of glowing trash from McDonald's and Arco.
And do you have pictures of that? The canopy that was stuck in the fence for a long time?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because that'll all be part of the letter to Supervisor Barber, supporting her efforts. Would that be helpful?
That's fine, I think she's already heard the story of the canopy.
I know, we're gonna like,
Okay,
you know,
if you see her,
substantial evidence.
yes.
Yeah, so I have a couple of, he's probably seen most of my trash pictures.
I was just noticing the trash on the off ramps, and I was thinking, you might want to request house rents when you move up, because I think they cleaned up in the San Diego Valley.
No, you know what they do? They run the mowers.
Oh, then these.
So 500 pieces of trash is now 5 million pieces of trash. And if they're this big and they're stuck in the sticker bushes. Yeah, so I don't know why they don't have a mower that has a bag on it. That would solve a lot of the problems. but we are gonna do the on and off ramps because they don't do them and they're awful. Crown
Yeah.
Valley is horrible right
Yeah, I
now.
just noticed that coming in today, how bad it was.
Yeah, Crown Valley's awful.
Yeah.
Well, behind the MPM, which is, McDonald's too, like coming off the off ramp there. It's just, it's horrible. And so it's like certain ones are, like one is all McDonald's trash. One is all, Arco trash and then some food vendor trash on that side too. So it's just, and don't get me wrong, heading away from the food vendors is still on the freeway when you get on the freeway, so, and it's not just it's like, there's Starbucks, there's Dutch Bros, there's, so it's all kinds of, people just, they just empty their cars as they're going. I don't understand that. But anyway, so we picked up last Friday, we filled 2 huge dumpsters, so about 2 tons of trash. Picked up from Crown Valley to Santiago, a lot of car parts. That is my biggest pet peeve, is car parts, because, and I said it to you before, the tow trucks get paid for picking that stuff up. They're leaving bumpers, like full-blown bumpers.
So I think you should tell the CHP captain, because they're working on a contract with the CHP. This was brought up, it was just someplace where somebody asked CHP about, well, who's supposed to pick that up? Are they supposed to pick that stuff up? And he says, yeah, I know they don't get the small stuff. And whoever was talking, well, it's bumpers, fenders.
We had a door.
But so I think,
Yeah, it's a door. The glass was shattered, it was a door.
do you have Captain Richards' email address?
I don't. But if somebody would send it to
I'll
me.
send it to you.
Okay.
So it's.
Yeah, but no, it's like back today, they picked up, there was an accident. They did pretty good on the one on Sierra Highway in Santiago the other night. They got most of it.
It probably depends on which driver's there.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Yeah. Some guys
Because
not-
we have contracts with these guys, they
Yeah.
issue contracts, so.
But I'm sure they don't get told when the guy's not picking up all this stuff, so they tell them, and Captain Richards is a very by the book, follow the rules, that thing, so.
Okay, I have lots of buckets for him. But yeah, and I mean, that one rollover that we had on Santiago and they ended up down in the wash. We had a battery, a full transmission, like they just left the car rolled and it just, the guy passed away, which I'm sorry on that, but it just obliterated the vehicle in the wash. They picked up like the main component and they left everything else. So, but anyway, so yeah, so we picked up a bunch of stuff did that on Friday, Saturday, we're gonna do the on and off ramps.
It was hot as it's snowing.
It was hotter than the devil skis backside.
Yeah, it was hot.
It was hot. But we started earlier. We're gonna start earlier this Saturday. We're gonna start at 6:30. It's just too hot. It's just so screaming hot. By the time 9:30, 10 o'clock rolls around, we were done. And we worked till almost 11. So. Well, and it was fun because he's in great shape. A couple of the other guys are in amazing shape. And they were all like, this kicked our butts. Yeah. And we were doing hills.
Yeah.
And they so, but anyway, so that's it. But yeah, so you get me an email and I'll give you some trash pictures and I'll give you some trash pictures. Yeah, everybody is trash pictures. I have lots. You're a trash.
Aesthetics.
Football team is this comes. Oh, awesome.
Okay, so,
Okay.
so you got school, traffic safety, sorry, traffic safety.
Yeah.
So I move that we write a letter of support to Supervisor Barton with pictures of more ordinance addressing pop-up food vendors and in particular address fire concerns with open flame burners and generators as well as trash.
We just need enforcement of state law that already bans the pop-up vendors because they can't meet state health codes. So that's.
Okay. That enforces, I'm gonna amend my motion. Enforces state law regarding, okay, so tell me if this is better. I move we write a letter of support to Supervisor Barton with pictures for an ordinance that enforces state law regarding pop-up food vendors. And in particular, address fire concerns of burners, the generators, the trash, and pedestrian safety. Does that sound good?
And traffic safety too. Did you say
Yes,
traffic safety?
well, I said pedestrian safety.
The traffic safety.
Pedestrian and traffic safety.
Okay, what they're, just second this.
A second.
There.
Why? We changed the law.
We're
at,
Yeah.
Mess it up now.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, again, on,
Now, we're now state process.
yeah, now see the rest of schools.
Do you have something on that?
I'd like to see, I thought it would be a nice compliment to the trees that are going out there. If we could get maybe a split rail, concrete split rail fence to go like on the outside of the trees to create actually like a walkway for kids. I was wondering, I mean, I could work on a community fundraiser, but then also we could organize.
I was just gonna say, maybe,
They make those.
Yeah.
Is that, Josie, I know it's late for you, Josie, and I appreciate your time. Is it possible for the community to perhaps recommend to Public Works and we could come up with it? If we provide the fencing, to have fencing along with those trees?
Let me check with our tree crew. Depending on, what kind of fencing and so forth, I'll have them contact who's the best person they need to.
Just the Acton Town Council would, it would be something like open rail, split rail fence, something rural or western like what we have here.
Yeah.
Okay,
To provide a barrier, it doesn't have to be like obscuring anything, just a small, short, split rail fence.
Yeah, wildlife permeable.
yeah, there might be some traffic safety concerns on that, but I will definitely reach out with our tree crew and our traffic people and see what they say and then report back.
We could do it on the outside of the tree line. It doesn't have to be between the trees and the street. It could be just on the other side of the trees, right?
Yeah, between the.
So it would be,
There's some separation.
yeah. Would that make sense?
Kind of show a walking path for kids and give them a little bit of a
Yeah,
barrier.
yeah, guide- and also guidance, keep them from.
Yeah.
I have pictures of those children, literally, this is before we got the curve under the freeway, they're out in the street.
Yeah,
They're 8 feet kids, because they're just kidding, they were like, they're dumb 12-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry, you're 12-year-old, brilliant, I'm sure.
And now they're younger than that, because you've got.
We got the 6th graders in it. Yeah, there's 10,
There's
there's
10-year-olds,
9-year-olds.
9-year-olds, 10-years.
Oh, anyway.
And they're running with their friends
Yeah.
in a group of 10.
Playing tag,
Yeah.
Or just on their phones.
Yes.
So that area that we're talking about, the trees and all the food trucks and everything, pop-ups, is that area, able to have short-term parking, like if parents come pick up kids, are they allowed to park there short-term?
For food trucks, it's only certain times and they line up to pick the things up. So like, there's plenty of car, they're moving,
And they're not gonna park, they're just.
because you're not supposed to go out, there's no parking
Yes.
there at all until after like 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Where people do park is, and this is new since my son was not there, since my son left that school. It's they now park on Crown Valley, up on.
Right, on the
There's
heritage.
next to the trees.
Yeah.
All right, ice cream grill.
I'm gonna be taking it over since I'm on the female track.
Oh,
So, I haven't had no reports from this time.
And I'm ecstatic. Doesn't take much,
Hey. Great.
if they build it, it's underground.
Yes,
That's all I'm gonna say.
we've done our job.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it only took 12 years of our life, but hey.
Well,
$110 billion to go from Merced to David
yeah,
Shield.
but that's not really, slowly, yeah. Unfinished business, or unfinished business.
We've done this in the past, I don't know if we want to do it now. We could, if you wanted to, invite Scott Myers and Laura Friedman, who are the people who are running for congressman.
I think we should, I think that is, I would appreciate it. Point size, have it be engaged with the community. Right.
FRIEDMAN. We tradition, once we get past the primaries, we try to ask for them to come because we can't do it before the primaries because we can't favor one over the other and there's too many. So we'll ask them if they want to debate or just come and meet us. We've always done this. I don't know who the assembly people are either. We should do with the assembly.
One guy came here, but I don't believe they did, cubes.
Yeah, he made it.
Oh, really? So somebody came here? Did I miss that? Oh,
He came, him and Carlo both talked,
Yeah.
this is like.
oh, he just came during public comment.
Correct.
Yes.
But, yeah, we said we couldn't do it.
Yeah,
until after the primaries.
it's fine. I didn't know if you meant, so.
So should we do it for assembly? Sure. So it's also,
Yeah, it's taking over my spot.
Yeah.
so what, try to, they can meet the community because we're different.
Unique.
Unique is the word.
Unique is the word.
Didn't you say, what was the word you used today? Fear, weirdo or something. Oh, no, no, unique.
Extended.
You did place the election. Oh, we're done the agenda.
No.
So, we probably should every time now, just so we can remind people.
Okay.
Also, when I get back from my trip, I will put it out to.
It is, yeah, it's on the website now.
So
It's on the main page, there's a, I see a American flag banner.
okay, so if you want to.
If you haven't changed your clock yet.
We have an election in 12.
They're a rough crowd, I'm telling you, they are a rough crowd.
So you do the school board seats,
Sorry?
they're gonna use, have a school board, people that are running, coming.
Oh, we do that, we've done that, or something.
So
we-
there's,
The women's club is already
okay,
on top of it.
Yeah. I
for
think
the school
we-
board, the positions are active ones I go.
Okay.
Yes.
I think the women's club does that, but,
Okay.
and women's club also does it when they have last election.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll have, it's good to have an election because then you.
Yeah, we should get William's phone number.
Yes.
None of us have it, I don't think.
I do.
To those-
On your website, and we're also gonna put them around. On our place. And be freaking lovely, yeah, I'll see where we'll take them.
Right,
I was gonna go take them and then be like that on the notice.
Oh, it's all, yeah, it's, so it's whatever. It's on.
But I'll be where,
Yeah.
That's the day.
Sure, those changes, because what I'm saying is, I have.
You have them on
It's
there.
on there, but it- So you can use that as you will, like, well, said, yeah, you guys are good, I don't know, they got to, yeah. You're good, then, we will adjourn.
So,
Sorry.
That's on our meeting, our next meeting.
Yeah.
37.
I just released agenda,
Yes.
for the REO best ordinance,
Yep. All right, that's what we're doing.
Angelino best staff report, EIR. The election will add, yeah. And I don't know if we want to do the Catholic Church or wait until there's not.
I just wait till it comes.
Yeah.
I hate commenting on such and so.
I'm glad we're getting some.
Yes, let's, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so-
Don't forget to take pictures. From Blue Ranch. Take pictures of your garden.
Yeah, so we're looking at, so we can't, the town council, next town council meeting, we can't have the levels, which we get staff.
I mean, if you want to, even though taking the 14th, the next thing. If we do it up to the first, we can do it on.
We always try to stick on Monday. But I know it would be the following night.
Yes, is that? Is that?
No, not that I know of.
It's the 14th, Jim.
I'm logging in right now.
Thanks, Jeff. Yes, thank you.
Next Monday.
Make sure.